a great occasion really for the fans and supporters and everyone involved with the club.
There's no doubt that it's a magical experience to go there at any time. For me, it's the best arena in world football, and we get a chance to grace that, and we have to make sure that when we do, that we bring our best game and we do our utmost to try and reach that final. It's the best national cup competition in world football. The coverage is global. Regardless of what country you're in, you ask people about the football and they'll mention the FA Cup because of what it brings to everybody.
This semi-final couldn't be tougher to call. Two mid-table Premier League clubs, both have beaten the other in the league this season.
It's very tight because both teams are quality teams and there's not a lot between them.
We expect it to be a tough game, you know, they'll go in favourites.
And yeah, let's get the makings of a cracker.
It's nearly time for the trip to London and a semi-final that promises to be tight. Stoke believe they have one advantage, their fans, who aim to win the battle of the Wembley decibels.
Well, I think they'll try and turn Wembley into the Britannia. They'll do their damnedest to do that, I'm sure. So it'll be a great occasion and a great day out for everybody.
I think you see two teams backed by terrific supporters, and that's why I've said before, I think it'll make for a magical atmosphere at the game, with two very committed teams trying to win the game, two very good teams full of quality, and two unbelievable set of supporters giving everything they can to make it a real cup tie.
It's been more than 50 years for Bolton, never for Stoke. But one of these clubs will be in the 2011 FA Cup final. Right now, they both believe it's their destiny.
For every fan and every lad growing up, you want to play in massive games. You want to play in the biggest games of cup finals, and to lift the trophy, it'd be a dream come true.
Well, players hoping to lift the FA Cup, and alongside me at Wembley, a man who has won this tournament, Matt Jackson, who won the FA Cup back in 1995, 16 years ago, Matt.
Well, yes, it was happy memories there. It certainly seems an awful long time ago, but fabulous occasion. A little bit different then when we used to play at the old Wembley, this fabulous stadium, hosting this game and this semi-final weekend. But an unbelievable atmosphere, and I just hope we get a game to match.
It really does mean so much to both of these sets of supporters. The atmosphere was incredible.
Oh, it's been great. I mean, it just came for an hour and just stood on Wembley Way and soaked it up, and you hear a bit of banter and it's all very friendly now. They know there's a massive match, and what an opportunity, and how much they would love to be back here later this year for a fantastic final.
Well, the Bolton fans to our left haven't quite sold out their allocation, whereas the Stoke City fans, we expect around 34,000 of them. Are we expecting them to be louder today?
Well, I think statistically they're even proven to be louder, aren't they? I think they're the loudest in the Premiership at the moment, so they'll be hoping to keep that going today. Listen, it all depends what happens on that pitch. Any team supporters can go very quiet if their players aren't producing.
Some of these players have, of course, played at Wembley. Many of them haven't. What are they feeling standing there in the tunnel?
Obviously, nervous anticipation. We'll be looking forward to it. It's a funny one, really, because you know it's a fabulous occasion, but you have to go and perform. You have to cross that white line, and you have to do exactly what you do every week, learning your trade, earning your trade in the Premiership. It's just another game of football. You cannot let the occasion overtake you.
Ryan Shawcross made his Premier League debut against Kevin Davis and Bolton. What a baptism of fire that was back in 2008. He said he beat me up, but he's a little bit older and wiser now. And captain of Stoke City at the age of 23. He said he didn't expect to be skipper so early in his career. Here come the players, listen to this. Phenomenal noise here at Wembley. Well, both these clubs have had a reputation for a direct, physical, aggressive style. Both managers are working on changing that. And it's fair to say neither's averse to the longer ball. And with Kevin Davis and Kenwyne Jones spearheading the attack, why would you be? And there's a lot more to these sides than Route 1, just as there's a lot more to Stoke than long throws and set pieces.
So now the teams and match officials will take part in the fair play handshake led by their captains.
Let's take a look at the semi-final lineups. And Owen Coyle is without on loan Daniel Sturridge, who's cup-tied. So there's a recall for Croatian striker Ivan Klasnic. He scored the winners in rounds 4 and 5, as well as the late winner against Stoke in the Premier League in October. Johan Elmander continues in midfield, while Paul Robinson returns at left-back.
Yes, he does, and he adds a bit of grit to that back four. Elmander, the big one in this equation, probably dropping into midfield to play alongside Lee, Moamba and Petrov. Davis and Klasnic, what a responsibility on them to provide that spearhead for the attack.
Well, just one change for Stoke City from the side that lost narrowly at Spurs in the Premier League 8 days ago. Thomas Sorensen plays in goal as Tony Pulis tries to persuade him to sign a new contract. First-choice keeper Asmir Begovic hasn't figured in this cup run at all. Veteran Carlo Nash is on the bench. Top scorer John Walters has a point to prove. He began his career at Bolton as a 19-year-old.
And Sorensen plays behind this enormous back four. Wilkinson, Shawcross, Huth and Wilson. Big, strapping lads across that back four. You know what you're getting from Stoke. A little bit of creativity from the wide positions with Pennant and Etherington. And Kenwyne Jones, can he have a good day? Can he spark Stoke City through to the FA Cup final?
26, Matthew Etherington.
Well, it is absolutely deafening here at Wembley. It's as good an atmosphere as you could possibly wish for. There is Tony Pulis. Whatever you think of the way Stoke play, you have to have the utmost respect for the job he's done. And Owen Coyle too. His first game as a manager was against Tony Pulis 3.5 years ago at Burnley. A 0-0 draw. And we have every reason today, Matt, to think it's going to be tight and cagey, not much to choose between them.
No, there is nothing to choose between them. Really difficult to call. If I had to bet on it, I'd go with Stoke simply because they've been more settled. I think the Daniel Sturridge factor is a massive one in the game. He's been in great form. Can't play today. Now, Klasnic has a fantastic opportunity, but no manager would particularly want to shuffle his pack going into a big tie like this.
It's a beautiful, sunny, warm afternoon at Wembley. Perfect conditions for a big FA Cup semi-final. The pitch is in tip-top condition. Any problems Wembley had in that department are long gone. And the two sets of supporters having a real decibel battle here. What a sight that is. Both managers have brought their players to Wembley in the last couple of weeks to give them a taste of the great stadium. There's the referee, Howard Webb, from South Yorkshire, and he has a bit of cup experience, doesn't he? Refereed the Champions League and the World Cup finals last year. Bolton here unbeaten in the last 10 games in which Howard Webb has been the referee. A pre-match huddle for their players. Jussi Jääskeläinen, the only survivor from the last Bolton side that reached the semi-final against Aston Villa in 2000. And they lost on the penalties. Andy Wilkinson, Stoke through and through at right back. Born in Stone, just 7 miles from Stoke. And it's going to be the Trotters to kick off against the Potters in the second of the FA Cup semi-finals. Away we go, a place in the FA Cup final and guaranteed European football next season. Are the two massive prizes on offer for one of these two clubs? Will it be Bolton, whose FA Cup glory years can only be seen in black and white, or Stoke City, who've never reached the final in their history? It'll be a day to remember for one of them. And of course, the supporters here, clearly, audibly determined to enjoy every last second. What an occasion. Owen Coyle there has already improved on Bolton's Premier League tally of points and wins and goals this season from last year. Little flick there from Petrov on the far side. Klasnic looking, return it to Petrov again. Cross goes Shawcross, Bolton throw.
Good start from Bolton, just what you want. A little bit of attacking intent early on. Great pace down that left-hand side from Petrov. He'll give them the width out there all day, looking to provide the balls into the box. Kevin Davis will thrive on them if he gets the opportunity.
Robinson hasn't played in the last 2 games. He's been on 9 bookings. He would have missed this match if he'd got another one. Klasnic can't stay on his feet. Robert Hoot gets it away. He's not being booed there. That's the Stoke fans shouting Hoot. What a wonderful season, the German. First free kick is given against Zat Knight. Jermaine Pennant over the ball here. 7 times he's gone close to playing in a cup final. The FA Cup final is missed out every time. Will it be his year? Pennant delivers. Away by Greta Steinsen. Picked up by Lee. No one upfield for Bolton. Mark Rawson, who captured Portsmouth to the final last season, missed the final with a hamstring injury. Hoping to put that right this afternoon. Another free kick as Mwamba fouls big Kenwyne Jones.
Yeah, it just leaves his mark on him a little bit. Nothing too malicious in the challenge, clearly a foul. Howard Webb, with all of experience, comes across, has a quiet word, doesn't need to get the card out too early, doesn't need to put any pressure on himself by booking anyone. Certainly don't think the challenge deserved anything more than that. A chance for Stoke to test their set pieces.
Taken short to Walters. And they needed Jääskeläinen to come and smother at his feet. The first corner kick goes Stoke's way.
Yeah, very sharp from Stoke, and Bolton had switched off. Jääskeläinen committed himself and was overcommitted for me. He'd made the poor decision to come, got the job done just about.
Matty Etherington, Stoke's Player of the Year last year, delivers. Didn't get enough on it. The pitch is a good 5 yards wider than he's used to at the Britannia. Here comes the first long throw. Oh no, maybe not. Everyone deceived. Wilson. Shawcross has stayed up. Jääskeläinen with a very good take.
Interesting decision. You take it short for a man to put the ball straight into the box. I don't understand why. You've got the propulsion to do it. Just put the throw in. It's actually the flight of the ball is worse from the throw in for a goalkeeper than it is if you just play it into the box off the deck.
Maybe that's exactly the point that Owen Coyle was making. Hard to make yourself heard from way back there in the technical area. And Wembley's this loud. Wilkinson. James beaten in the air by Zat Knight. Tony Pulis said in every interview ahead of this game, Bolton are favourites. I wonder if he really believes that.
No, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't do. He would certainly fancy his team's chances, knows exactly how they're going to play, know they're going to try really hard for him, as they have done all season. Great credit to the two managers to bring their teams to this point. Certainly with the Premiership campaign pretty much in the bag for the two of them, fairly secure in their respective league positions. How much they'll want their teams to perform for them today.
Bolton free kick to be taken by Greta Steinsen. Icelandic fullback. Kevin Davis the target here. Oh, drops very kindly for Cahill. And Petrov not able to get the ball across, but Bolton have their first corner.
Just a little hint that Cahill might have had a shooting opportunity. We know Davis is going to be a physical threat in that box. We know he's going to win his fair share of flick-ons. And he just seemed to take a decent touch, the big centre-half, and could have wrapped his foot around it. Petrov quickly closed down.
Petrov delivers. Towards Zat Knight. Another corner. Good delivery on that one.
Do get the feeling these set pieces could be vital today. Two big physical teams. Probably a question of who copes best in these situations as to who progresses.
It's the one corner of the pitch still bathed in spring sunshine. Just spotting a little bit of pushing between the two skippers.
I think a fair amount of pushing could be a fair somewhere.
Petrov again. Up in the air by Whelan. And Davis. A lay back to Cahill. Well, he got his laces behind that one.
Yes, centre-halves don't normally need too many opportunities. I was surprised he turned down the first one. Just sets himself up into a lovely situation. Just catches on the half volley, strikes it sweetly enough. Ball rising all the time and fairly comfortable for Sorensen. Just a little hint of a handball. It's a melee, isn't it? Probably does strike a hand. Not really going to get too many of those. A sweet strike just rising above that bar.
Cahill has scored one FA Cup goal. It came in the third round last season against Lincoln. Krasnic beaten to the ball by Ryan Shawcross.
Glad there's been a fast start to the game. Thought both sides might be a bit nervous, might be a little bit cagey, but they've really started at a great pace. Look at the nervous tension down there. Horrible for a manager. Out of your control pretty much now.
Fernando in this deeper line role. We've got Hoots with the challenge. Clear free kick against the German.
Yeah, just trying to make his mark, get tight. A little bit lucky to get away with that on another occasion. Might be the first one into the book. Pretty late, never getting anywhere near the ball.
Owen Coyle did toy with the idea of bringing Mark Davis into the midfield, but he stuck with Elmander. Did a good job in the convincing victory over West Ham in the Premier League last week. Well, Martin Petrov over the ball here. Zach Knight and Gary Cahill both forward there to bolster the attack. Pushing in there once again. Doubled up on Davis more than once already. Muamba. This is Elmander. Sorensen right behind it.
Yeah, nice sighter for it. Came through a forest of players, came through a few legs. Didn't get the unfortunate deflection that can often leave a goalkeeper looking a bit silly. He'll be pleased to get a good, solid touch of the ball. Good technique, got his body right behind it. Sometimes difficult when you've not played a great deal. Jääskeläinen, well, he just plays every single week for Bolton, doesn't he? An absolutely fantastic record for the club.
Signed in November 1997 by Colin Todd. In a little club in Finland, VPS. And what a servant he's been to Bolton. He's had his chances as well to move to bigger clubs. Well, this time it's a free kick to Stoke. Jones. Well, he's just started to find his form again in recent weeks, and he didn't need a second invitation there.
I mean, despite that great physical presence, he's also got a decent touch. You see him just barge Knight off. And those are the ones that if you know you've struck them properly, just go back and we look at this handball again.
Look at Hoot's hand all over Kevin Davis's face.
It does strike Shawcross, but very tough for a referee to give that. And sometimes Davis's physical presence goes against him a little bit in those situations, because the referee will know he's given as good as he gets as well.
Owen Coyle has been speaking to the fourth official, Stuart Atwell, about that. Zach Knight in the side. Again, Owen Coyle was umming and ahhing about that because he only returned against West Ham after 7 games out with a knee injury. I think he was concerned about the physical presence of Kenwyne Jones. This is Pennant. Waters not able to get it in. All but given away. Chance for Etherington! A phenomenal strike from Matty Etherington! His 6th of the season. They gave it away, Bolton, but didn't he strike it beautifully?
He certainly did. Very little involvement in the game so far. Not the worst way to announce yourself. Poor play from Bolton. Owen Coyle will be disappointed. Look like they're in control of the situation. Sloppy pass. Can't play it too short. Square across. Doesn't even take a touch. Looks up. Straight out the laces with that left foot. Jääskeläinen, a despairing dive away to his left. Early advantage to Stoke City.
Well, his first FA Cup goal came against Bolton for Spurs back in February 2002. That's his 4th in this competition, after scoring a fabulous individual goal against his old club Tottenham last week. Stoke in front inside 12 minutes.
Great for the game as well, really opens it up. Not great for the Bolton supporters, obviously. Disappointing for the team as well. They know they've pretty much caused their own downfall in that respect. How will they respond?
Here's Lee. Robert Hoots went across, blocked the attempted centre. Elmanda. What is Bolton's response to going behind? Cleared by Wilkinson. It was uncharacteristically sloppy from Bolton at the back, but they were punished in spectacular style by Etherington. Here's Lee. Steinson up against Wilson, who really sticks to his task. Not a natural left back by any means. Steinson, Lee trying to curl that towards Davis, but it's a gift for Sorensen. And it's the Stoke fans you're hearing now.
Yes, well, they don't normally need too many excuses to find themselves in great voice. Delilah rings around here, the anthem of the club. Sounds fantastic, doesn't sound quite so good from the other end of the stadium. From a Bolton perspective, they're going to need a reaction pretty quickly from their team.
Long, long way to go. Jones. Rory Delap on the verge of signing a new contract at Stoke. Foot in from Elmanda. Wilson. The Waters will chase that type of ball all afternoon. His energy levels are extraordinary. He's just got that extra incentive playing against his old club as well.
Protecting a lead helps, though. You don't want to chase the game for too long here at Wembley. Certainly the turf, we talk about the legendary turf that can sap you a little bit. Slightly different with these new pitches. Still a big occasion. Warmed up for a long time, interestingly enough. Bolton came out very, very early. Stoke came out later, went in earlier. Sometimes you can just take a little edge if you're out there for too long in the sun before the game.
Well, we had to check our watches, didn't we, when we saw the Bolton players running endless widths of this huge Wembley pitch. 45 minutes before kick-off.
Yeah, it's a difficult balance because you don't want them coming out too early, getting tired, but you don't want them sitting around in the change room either, getting nervous. That tension can get into the legs quite quickly. And at the moment, it's Stoke in the ascendancy. I would say their preparations have probably worked better.
Here's Gary Cahill. Header away by Hoots. Steinson to take the throw in. Elmanda. Klasnic, Elmanda went for the give and go, but it's his strike that separates the sides, and what a strike.
I mean, he had a little look up, knows it's going to have to be something special to beat Jääskeläinen, and it buries itself in the side net, and you know you've got a chance. He knows what a great strike it was. Look at those adoring fans in the background, the perfect start for them. Settle his teammates down, how much it can mean to you.
Jones with the flick. Greta Steinson away. Well, this could be a long throw opportunity.
Yeah, they haven't settled Bolton, have they? They haven't imposed themselves at all. Hardly been a pass. Haven't switched the ball from side to side yet. Just been a bit of a war of attrition so far. Not too many teams come out on top against Stoke when it comes down to those basics.
Well, the fans want a long throw, that's for sure. They're gearing themselves up. Here it comes, the first of the semi-final. Attacked by Elmander. Wilkinson. No flag. Cahill away. Robert Hoot! Oh, what a fantastic strike! The goalkeeper got a hand to it but couldn't keep it out. And it's 2-0 to Stoke City.
And this is quickly turning into a nightmare, not only for Jääskeläinen, but his teammates and the fans here as well. This one doesn't fly in quite so much. It's a little snapshot. Probably the bounce maybe just deceives him. We'll see again. It's so tough to get any sort of distance on the clearances. Look at the bodies underneath it. And I just think Jääskeläinen may be a bit disappointed. The ball's angled away from him. Doesn't really move his feet. Chooses to dive first. And I think when he sees that one back, he'll be slightly disappointed. Gets half a finger to it. Well, we'll look at the reaction. He knows it's an awful long way back for any team to score 3 against his side.
Well, he scored the winner in round 4 at Wolves, scored against West Ham in the quarter-finals. And that was his 9th of the season. A spectacular season for Robert Hoot. Well, where do Bolton go from here? 2-0 down inside 18 minutes. Tremendous strike, his 4th in the competition. But they have controlled the game, Stoke City. Bolton really haven't got out of the traps. And it's going to take something for them to come back. Davis, straight at the lap. This is Whelan. Hoot. Robinson so quickly closed down.
Yeah, they're the type of runs that make it easy when you're ahead. Just look at the physical presence. I just think he just doesn't quite move his feet quick enough, does he? I know the ball's angled away. Now again it goes in the corner, but he gets a really good sight of it. It's only going that one direction. And he looked a bit surprised himself, didn't he, to see that one fly in?
Well, he really has had a fantastic campaign at Stoke. But Owen Coyle has got a job on now.
Yeah, he needs his side to show some real character. He needs the big players, the experienced players to come to the fore for him.
Etherington with a wonderful surging run past Steinson. And Robinson with a very brave chest back to his goalkeeper. Muamba. Cahill.
They have to pass this ball. Exactly what they're doing here. Get some touches on the ball. Try and get some control in the game.
Muamba breaking forward from midfield, just trying to lift the ball over Shawcross. Well, he's tried to find Robinson. Got his angles wrong. He thinks Robinson should have made the run.
And he's letting him know. I mean, he had a big margin of error for the pass. And Robinson not particularly on the front foot. And when you start badly, it's so difficult to pick things up. They know how far it is. That level of expectancy the night before, the wishes, the hopes and the dreams of getting to a final. You find yourself 2 down against Stoke City after 20-odd minutes. Really, really difficult.
And Stoke unbeaten all season in the Premier League when scoring first. The last time they lost, having scored first, was against Bolton a year ago today. Jones chasing the through ball. Cahill clears. Robert Hoot gets there before Klasnic. Tony Peel is convinced that was a foul by Paul Robinson. Howard Webb happy to play on. Forward by Zat Knights. Cleared by Whelan. Cahill. On either side holding onto the ball for more than 2 or 3 passes.
No, but that suits Stoke. They're happy for it to be scrappy now, happy for the ball to be up in the air, happy for it to be a battle. That's where I say they have to impose themselves, Bolton, on this Stoke side, have to make some passes, have to make the pitch big. And he knows, look, he's frustrated because his team aren't passing. They'll have worked all week on maybe getting Petrov into the game wide, knowing that that's where the attacking options are from. They just haven't started at all in the game.
Well, his passion and enthusiasm for the game is quite infectious, Owen Coyle. And he needs to transmit that to his players now, because they are up against it. Against one of the most dogged sides in English football. That's a foul by Kevin Davis. According to the referee's assistant on this near side.
Who gets it exactly right. And good when they get involved like that. Often take a lot of stick, but you see a clear push. Heath makes the most of it. He's happy, as I say, for the game to be scrappy, happy to get themselves set up, turn Bolton round, make them play in their own half, challenge themselves to keep clean sheets. They know if they do that, well, they'll be back here in a few weeks' time for a fantastic occasion.
Stats will tell you that Kevin Davis has made more fouls than anyone else in the history of the Premier League. He does get fouled quite a lot himself as well.
Yeah, nobody tries harder. He's happy, he's honest to get himself under most balls. He's a physical presence. Certainly shouldn't look at that stat with any embarrassment whatsoever. Big heart, been a fantastic player. He'll be as frustrated as anyone out there at the moment.
Strong challenge from Wilkinson, but a fair one on Petrov. One back by Muamba. Tried to poke it out to Lee. Petrov. Here is Chung Yong Lee. Well read by Hoot. Muamba has it back, and Robert Hoot slid in a tad recklessly. Just a little word from Howard Webb here.
And he's already had one. I mean, he's not high. He just about gets a bit on the ball. He's with the outside of his foot. He's more inclined to get himself hurt there, but I think he's lucky. I thought he was lucky to go away with the first one. I think he's really lucky to get away with that one. Nothing more than a yellow, but I do think he's lucky to stay out of that book.
The adrenaline is coursing through the veins of Robert Hoot, having scored that second goal. He's got some defending to do here against Kevin Davis. Martin Petrov, the Bulgarian, to take the free kick. And Jones up and away for a corner.
Good presence, great presence offensively, but does a great job defensively. Did the right thing, don't take any chances. Head it up in the air, strong themselves, some set pieces, attacking, got to defend as well.
In by Lee. And Cahill was able to chest it down, but not able to get the shot away. Kevin Davis again feels that he was fouled. It's Muamba to Elmanda. Klasnic trying to impose himself on this semi-final, but that's a tame effort.
Yes, not the most successful shot we've seen from outside the box today. He was really struggling there, didn't really shape to strike it properly. And again, the game just allowed to slow. Sorensen can clear this long upfield, push his side up.
Headed by Cahill. Jones was backing in. Howard Webb agreed with Gary Cahill eventually.
Yeah, very often they get away with those ones, the forwards.
Also speaks a central defender.
Oh yeah, fully paid up member of the union, but especially when he didn't particularly have his arms up as well. And often that one is the giveaway, but he was just backing in again. Nice to see Howard Webb, his understanding of the game, one of the best around certainly.
Here is Jones. Delap trying to arrow the ball out to Etherington. Well seen by Steinson. Davis wasn't expecting the ball to reach him. It missed Whelan completely. But suddenly the ball is spending rather a long time in the air, and that's not what Bolton want at all.
No, it's pretty morale sapping for them, having to constantly turn, pick it up in the deep corners of their own half. Looks an awful long way to that Thomas Sorensen goal from where they are there.
Klasnic. Robinson on the overlap. Well, he showed good pace, didn't he? And then short cross, but he hasn't even got a corner out of it.
Two committed players, two of the strongest around. I think he had a case as well. Once you see the ball going there, he knows what a horrible game this could be.
Still outside on the right-hand side, looking understandably rather glum. And the last team who failed to reach the final after a 2-0 lead in the semi was Chesterfield. And they played Middlesbrough back in 1997. Kevin Davis, part of that Chesterfield side. And here is Davis against Hoots. Well, his pressure enough to win his side a corner.
Yeah, they need to chase every lost cause. We talked about his big heart. You have to chase everything down. It's going to be really tough for them physically. Can't afford to give up on anything as they try and claw their way back into this game.
Fourth Bolton corner taken by Lee. Stanton is near post, cleared as far as Petrov. Tries to keep it alive, but instead has managed to quake it straight behind for a goal kick. It's not happening for Bolton right now. Very flat away to our left-hand side at Wembley. And fans need something to give them a lift. Little flick from Jones to Jermaine Pennant, who's waiting for support to arrive. Walters goes in! And Jääskeläinen with a very important take.
Yeah, he did well. I thought he could have thrown himself, Walters, just because he knows he's going to put the goalkeeper off anyway. Good surging run. Those wide positions are so dangerous.
Davis didn't keep it in. Hard to say, I didn't quite agree with that decision.
I was asking, was it the whole ball? Did look as though he might have a case, but haven't had too many decisions feeling like they're going their way at the moment. See it in close up. Was it the whole ball? Oh, really tough one to spot. Had no better view than the assistant referee, but it's going against you. It sure is going against you.
Season that Kevin Davis got to the semis with Chesterfield, he scored a hat-trick against Bolton en route to the last four. And Bolton could do with that sort of contribution again. It's been pinched by Pennant here, both strikers ahead of him, and he's played it through. It's Kenwyne Jones! It's phenomenal from Stoke City. They lead by 3 goals to 0. And they are quite literally doing cartwheels here.
Great goal, great goal. Pennant does so well, breaks half the length of the pitch, and because of their lead, it allows them to play this way. They can play on the counter-attack, break up the Bolton attacks. Oh, it's horrible for the Trotters, absolutely horrible. Tough on Owen Coyle. It's turned into a real nightmare, but once again, caught in possession. He crosses the halfway line with pace. Can Mwamba do more, getting back? But he threads a great ball through. Kenwyne Jones just stays on side. Fantastic finish. So close to Wembley already. A game to come back for this final.
Well, that was clinical, wasn't it, from Kenwyne Jones? He ended his longest run without a goal for over 5 years last weekend, when he scored that tremendous goal at White Hart Lane. Some Bolton fans are going for a half-time cuppa already, or maybe they're heading for the cars. Etherington. Oh, Gary Cahill had to get there. Well, who could possibly have foreseen this? 3-0 up inside half an hour. And no wonder they are singing their hearts out. Away to our right-hand side. Astounding.
Well, if Bolton reach the final from here, we've got a story on our hands, I can tell it.
Well, they've got a free kick here, and you feel they have to register on the score sheet before half-time. Klasnic takes. Robinson. Kevin Davis is up. Etherington clears up to Walters. An important challenge from Gary Cahill. Davis. Short cross up in the air. Klasnic goes for it. Petrov can't get there. This is Elmander. And again, the shooting from that kind of range has been all too easy for Thomas Sorensen.
He's a top-class goalkeeper. He'll have to take something special. 25, 30 yards, dribble along the floor. It's all about technique, get your body behind it. Quite ironic, he's not played so much this season league football, Thomas Sorensen, yet he might end up playing in an FA Cup final.
Etherington scuffed the cross, allowed Zat Knight to clear. Whelan, Tennant. They want more here, Stoke. It's Jones again! What a performance in this first half from Stoke City.
And it's easy for them now, they can take up the positions, they can run that extra yard, they can be creative, they can take a chance in the final third. There's just no interplay at all between the Bolton units at the moment. The defence are isolated, just see them there. There's no one anywhere close to him. Appeals in vain for offside, held his position really well. Now with the pace of Tennant and Etherington, they can just sit in Stoke, counter-attack whenever they want to. You have to say, they look like they're going to score again.
Well, Kenwyne Jones a month ago might not have stuck that home, but he's just started to produce again. And there was no way he was going to miss it. Delightful assist from Jermaine Pennant. And Tony Pulis, I'm sure, will be making the point that this job is not yet done, but what on earth does he say to his players at half-time?
Well, imagine he'll be thinking now about making changes. He has to change something. His team have been flat, haven't got on the ball, so he can't change it too early, can't make too many changes, but one or two he's got to change it personally. He has to shake it up, he has to find a way, ideally to score before half-time, but certainly to get a reaction at half-time from those players.
Slipped by Tennant. This is Knight. Greta Steinson. Bolton increasingly bedraggled. They need something, anything to cling on to here. Elmander. Delap goes with him. Davis. Poked out wide to Paul Robinson. Petrov. And Jermaine Pennant went with Robinson. It's a Stoke ball. 10 minutes to half-time. Not too many Stoke fans would have seen this coming when they needed a replay against Cardiff City in the third round. Narrow win against Wolves in round 4. They needed Thomas Sorensen to make a last-minute penalty save at Molineux. Tony Pulis can afford a smile. Everyone at Wembley talking about how this will be tight, cagey, tense.
Well, I think the fact that it's been tense has been a big contributing factor, because for me, Bolton are frozen. I just don't think they've got into the game at all. They've hardly made a pass. I know it's difficult once you go behind, but haven't imposed themselves. And I don't see that they see a way of breaking down this Stoke side.
Owen Coyle said repeatedly he wants his players to play the match, not the occasion. He brought them down to Wembley this week. Look around the stadium so they wouldn't be overawed. Was this a foul on Kevin Davis by Shawcross?
Yes, it was. Just, they would argue shoulder to shoulder, but it was shoulder into the back. He knew that Davis knew Shawcross was coming. They've had nothing go their way at all. Nothing at all. And it's going to be a long, very, very quiet and sombre half-time. Owen Coyle's, all his managerial abilities will be tested in that 15-minute spell.
Here's Pennant, all the way to the byline. Well, Etherington was waiting for the cross. It never reached him, but he was all alone, Etherington. You can afford a smile when you're 3-0 up and the cross doesn't come off. But it just means a long throw.
Yeah, for me, Stoke have just played exactly the same way they play in every single match. Doesn't matter, they might be at the Britannia, they could be at Anfield. They've just played exactly the same way. That's why they've found themselves 3 goals to the good. Made the game very simple, so effective.
Here it comes. Kevin Davis away. Whelan. Zach Knight wins the header. Ball straight to Pennant. Oh, it's still Pennant. Jones. Well, Etherington may have been better placed behind him. It's found its way to Etherington via Whelan. Whelan again. They are looking very dangerous, Stoke City. And a 4th goal would surely be enough to seal a place in the final. And here come the allays in the 39th minute of the semi-final. Extraordinary. Here's Lee, player of the year at Bolton last season. Here's Steinson. Off Wilson, it's just a throw.
Quiet mutterings into the ear of Owen Coyle. Can we try this? Shall we try that? You don't often see him sitting down, do you? Looks almost in despair there. Knows it's so far back for his team.
Long throw from Steinson. Short cross against Davis again. Knight. Davis was calling for it. Well, he's up for the physical battle against Kevin Davis, that's for sure. Tony Pulis was in Turkey last weekend. He was watching Galatasaray against Trabzonspor. He was watching the Galatasaray defender Servat Çetin. His nickname translates as man who could choke a bear. The general feeling is that he'd be a perfect fit for Stoke City.
Yeah, I take it he's not a 5'5" ball-playing fullback, is he? Listen, they take a little bit of stick, Stoke, and a lot of it is unfair, because as a manager, what you want to put into your team is a unit that tries really hard for you, tries really hard for each other. It's a close-knit bunch. Kind of maybe don't complicate the game overly, but his record since he's gone in there, taken them into the Premier League, guaranteeing them survival for a couple of years, putting together a good squad, buying the likes of Etherington, taking a chance of buying the likes of Pennant, backing himself to get the best out of that sort of character. You have to give him great credit for that.
Well, just watch the 3rd goal. There's nothing direct or anti-football about that. It was pure quality. Whelan has been fouled by Klasnic.
This is the frustrated one. Knows he's not winning the ball. Has a little half a kick out as well afterwards. Glenn Whelan more than man enough to cope with those. Swat that one away, pick yourself up and move on.
Taken by Wilson. Oh, Walters! A header from Cahill. If Jones had been 5 yards further ahead, he would have had a bit of a tap-in. Penance. We've very rarely seen Bolton this ragged at the back. They're looking so vulnerable. Sam Allardyce is here today. I wonder what he makes of their defensive display in this first half. Look at this from Walters. Although he would fancy himself in the air against Chung Yong Lee. Kevin Davis penalised.
The one thing Bolton have to do is try and keep some sort of discipline. Obviously, ridiculously blatant statement. They can't afford to concede a game, but they also can't afford to have anybody sent off here. That makes the game impossible. There will be a massive frustrations. 1 or 2 decisions gone against them down there. Arguably could have had a penalty. Would have been a really tight, really tough one. Suddenly you feel it's not your day, but they can't afford anyone kicking out or being petulant and really hurting the team.
Petrov. Wilkinson with a really good footing. He's had no joy at all, Petrov, in the first half. And Lee neither on this near side. Walters. Stopped by Robinson. Mwamba. Now Elmander. There's several options available. He's found Kevin Davis. This is Steinson. Davis again. Away by Shawcross far too easily.
It's just a red and white wall, isn't it? They're coming up against hopeful balls into the box. No real direction. They're going to start playing some 1-2s in that final third, running beyond a little bit. Something wrong's going to try and get the foot on the ball. It's just the movement that's going to hurt that big back four of Stoke. They're happy to head it, happy to fight you all day.
Well, just over 90 seconds of normal time to go. Just a single minute of stoppage time to be added at the end of that. Robert Hoots with the header away. Walters. Jones. Etherington. Pitch perfect for Wilkinson. Tennant. And Wilkinson has continued his run here. Petrov's gone with him. There was a little tug of the shirt there, spotted by the officials. A glare from Wilkinson, but that was the correct decision.
It was, but look at the determination to chase it down, pulling the shirt. Credit Petrov going back in with him. Not easy to do. He doesn't want to be that end of the pitch. He wants to be the other end, wide with some sort of service to him, and he's had none this half.
Wilson. Owen Coyle need to get his players in, shake them up, maybe shake things up as well, make some alterations.
Yeah, well, part of his dilemma is, do you go down the rollicking route where you just get torn into them, or do you try and cajole a reaction from them? All about managing your own players, knowing what's going to suit them best. They'll know themselves that this has turned into their worst nightmare. They'll know they've let themselves down. I'd be amazed if he didn't make a change, just to freshen things up, try something different.
Steinson. Wretched long ball. Thomas Sorensen in no rush here. In the dying embers of what's been a quite astonishing first half for Stoke City. Krasnic beaten to the ball by Hoot. Petrov. This the final attack of the first half. Petrov delivers, and Thomas Sorensen at the second attempt catches the ball, and there will be the half-time whistle. Well, it's been a dream 45 minutes for Stoke City. I think the appropriate cliché is they have 1 foot in the final. Matty Etherington with a wonderful strike in the 12th minute of the match. Robert Hoot got the second, and Kenwyne Jones with the third. Bolton have shown nothing in response. Can they force their way back into this semi-final in the second half? Half-time at Wembley. Look at this scoreline. Bolton Wanderers 0, Stoke City 3.
This programme is brought to you by Sporting Bet. There's no better bet than a sporting bet.
Salo from Sporting Bet here. My team is passionate about giving you the best betting experience on racing and sport. It's built by punters for punters, and our advanced technology lets you access the latest stats, form and more. Sporting Bet offers a huge range of options and services, and joining's easy. Bet fast online or on your mobile, anywhere, anytime. And that's why I say there's no better bet than a Sporting Bet.
The Gold Deck is Corinthia's sports mountain. Its summit is 2,140 metres high, and from here you have the most impressive panorama of the Geltler Alps, and behind them the huge Glockner Group. Underneath the cloud cover, the small township Spittal an der Drau. For 7 years, the idyllic village with its local mountain Gold Deck has played host to the legendary ski mountaineering race Champ or Cramp. This challenge is part of the Austrians' Elite Cup ASTC.
I'm Sepp
Autischer, the head of the Champ or Cramp challenge organisation here at the Gold Deck, Corinthia Sports Mountain. The contest is one of the most challenging races of the Austrian Ski Tour Cup series. Champ or Cramp, the name says it all. It's the 7th edition of the race, and for the second time, the Austrian Vertical Racing Championship as well.
More than 170 athletes are registered, so record participation this year. Most of the entrants come from Austria, but also other alpine countries are represented. The field is classified into an amateur and a professional category. It's also then subdivided into masters, youth and juniors.
The response to the challenge has been very good. We have much more participants this year. Today 170 athletes are listed. Last year we had only 130. Above all, the number of amateurs has increased, which is evidence of great development. It shows how popular ski mountaineering is.
For the ASTC series, 8 races are scheduled. The season has just started. Champ or Cramp is the second event. The key characteristic, it's just a climbing race without any downhill sections. Goal is the summit of the Gold Deck. The route leads across the longest black piste of the Alps, more than 8 kilometres at an altitude of 1,500 metres. To take up the challenge, the athletes have to be prepared very well, and everyone knows exactly what to expect.
I've trained a lot during the year. I have tried this mountain several times. Last week we were in Solbach for the first race of the series, Mountain Attack.
The special thing about this course is its length and steepness. It's really arduous and unpredictable. You never have a minute for rest, especially at the end. So many meters of altitude, that is the fascination. The more the better.
Between the participants and the blue sky at the top are exactly 8.5 kilometres and 1,490 metres in altitude. 170 athletes are lined up. Within this ASTC race, the Austrian Championship and Carinthia's Championship are both held. The discipline without any downhill parts is called the vertical race. The starting signal is fired and the race is set in motion. The route leads from the north side across the piste up to Gold Deck summit. Champ or Cramp is one of the most traditional races of the series. 10 years ago, Karl Posch and Konrad Mendel were looking for a way to organise ski mountaineering events that were competition-oriented. They were very proactive and arranged some races. In 2002, the first ASTC series was held with 2 competitions. Today, the series has established itself together with the World and the Europe Cup. The ASTC belongs to the most important elite cups in Austria. Champ or Cramp is one of the most challenging vertical races of the Alps. The length asks for great endurance skills. The extreme steepness, special muscular endurance. A leading group has formed. About 10 athletes are setting the pace, among them Alexander Fasser and Johan Weiland. These athletes were among the strongest competitors last year as well. In 2009, the Tyrolean Alexander Fasser won this race, and Johan Weiland had to settle for second place. So it looks as though the battle is set to continue this time around. Johan Weiland, the man from Salzburg, takes the lead. Behind him, Alexander Fasser, member of the Austrian national squad and title holder, breathes down his neck. Jörg Randl is in third place. The leading trio have now broken away from the rest. Weiland still in front, but Fasser and Randl right on his tail. Number 31 is the current Carinthia's champion Heinz Verbniak. Right now he's in 6th position, but Andreas Trockner attacks and overtakes. Trockner would go on to win the amateur category. What about the women? This athlete is Marita Stauffer, right now the best female Carinthian and the second fastest woman. The top position is currently held by Lydia Pruger. By now she's more than 10 minutes ahead. Meanwhile, the main field has struggled through the cloud cover and is welcomed by pure sunshine. The competition has come to its crucial point, the very last steep uphill. It's the final key section. Many amateur athletes put on their ski crampons to avoid sliding mistakes. While these athletes struggle with the steep slope, the leading trio are fighting for the title. The end is within sight, and Johan Weiland has managed to defend his leading position and sets in for the final spurt. Behind him, Alexander Fasser tries his very best to keep up, but Weiland's attack is simply too strong. Jörg Randl in third place is unable to keep up either. Johan Weiland, with absolute determination, pushes his way through and finally wins this arduous challenge. After 1 hour and 6 seconds, Johan Weiland reaches Goldeck's summit, and he is the new Austrian champion.
I'm so happy to be Austrian champion. There is nothing that could be better.
13 seconds later, Alexander Fasser makes it to the finish line. The former title holder has come back very strongly indeed after undergoing surgery in December. Jörg Randl takes third. He conquered the mountain 37 seconds behind Fasser.
Ja, wie immer, österreichische Meisterschaft, sehr schweres Rennen.
I was very surprised to be able to keep up with Wieland Hans for such a long time. On the last uphill he attacked, and I was at the end of my rope. But I'm very satisfied due to my history with 2 surgeries. From my point of view, the race was very good, very fast at the beginning. Then a leading group of 5 was formed. Fortunately, I belonged to the last 3 when the gap to fourth was growing, so I felt safe. I could keep up with the best, which was great. I'm very happy.
Once more, Lydia Pruger dominates the women's category. She seems to be unbeatable. Despite suffering from a cold, she outclasses the rest of the field. In the end, she's more than 10 minutes ahead of her competitors.
For sure, I am very happy to be Austrian champion. Last year I won also, but today I was not sure because my health is damaged a little. But I got it. That's great.
Champ or Cramp has its winners. Lydia Pruger is the new Austrian champion. Marita Stauffer from Carinthia takes second. And Andrea Imhofer, the South Tyrolean, completes the podium. Johan Weiland dominates the men's category and takes the title. The runners-up, Alexander Fasser and George Randl. Champ or Cramp 2010. In the end, 153 athletes conquered the mountain and crossed the finishing line as champions. Next weekend, the ski mountaineers meet again. The series stops over in the Leschachtal Valley for the 3rd round of Austria's Ski Tour Cup.
During the 2005-2006 season, Rudi Skacel became the only player in SPL history to equal Mark Viduka's record of 7 goals in 7 games. His first coming in Hearts' opening game of the season at Rugby Park.
Hearts had the lead, it's Rudi Skacel who scored. And Rudi Skacel makes it 5 goals and 5 games for Hearts. Must be a goal! And it's Rudi Skacel again! Hearts have scored. Would you believe Skacel again? 7 games, 7 goals for this man.
Our exclusive SPL coverage continues this weekend on Setanta Sports with Rangers versus Celtic live from Ibrox. The 7th meeting of the greatest rivals in football this season, and the most important as this crunch tie could decide the SPL Championship. Rangers versus Celtic this weekend on Setanta Sports. May is the month of champions on Setanta Sports. The FA Cup final, live from Wembley Stadium.
Brilliant goal!
Rangers and Celtic go for the SPL Championship, plus the Scottish FA Cup final. European football with a race for the Coppa Italia, the Scudetto and the Bundesliga. And the finals of the Heineken Cup, Aviva Premiership and the Magners League Grand Final.
That is a brilliant score!
A month of champions this May on Setanta Sports.
Live Serie A This programme is brought to you by Sporting Bet. There's no better bet than a sporting.
Martin, Petrov, Matty Taylor, a year ago today, scored twice in the final 5 minutes against Stoke to win the game 2-1 for Bolton. Could he produce something dramatic like that? But he had to act, Matt, he had to do something.
Yes, he did. I mean, I like the fact that he sent his team out early as well. Say what you've got to say, get them out there. At least they're waiting for their opponents to come out. These two guys, Matty Taylor's been around the block a few times, got some quality from the set pieces. Davis had some legs as well. Klasnic backfired, hasn't it? We talked about how important Sturridge has been to them just recently. Almanda didn't fit into that midfield area, couldn't link with him, so they changed Davis to come alongside. Probably push Almanda on now up front. How much they need an early goal.
So Stoke City start the second half. Remember, they've never reached the FA Cup final in their 148-year history. There'll be some nerves. Their last one at Wembley 11 years ago when they beat Bristol City in the Auto Windscreen Shield final. This is a whole other level. Bolton have made their changes. They need to register on the score sheet sooner rather than later to put some doubt in the Stoke players' minds, because it's all too easy for them at the moment. Wilkinson. Cleared by Jussi Jääskeläinen.
I wonder if Tony Pulis still views Bolton as favourites in this game.
Zat Knights. Lowering that one towards Chun Yong Lee. That was a glorious pass. Sadly, for Bolton, the control from Lee didn't quite match it.
No pass of the game, and I just think they have to go for that width. They have to try and do something a little bit different. They were one-dimensional for me in the first half. Tried to play Stoke at their own game. Not easy to do. There's pace down the wings from Etherington, Tennant. It's been the difference for me in the whole game so far.
That's a big difference, isn't it, from when Stoke were first promoted. What he's added down the flanks is really a whole new dimension to the way Stoke City play.
Well, that first year, once you do get promoted, is all about survival. You know, the financial rewards. And what a weapon this boy has as well. It's contributed to many of the goals. As I said before, you cannot take away from the spirit. That is something that has to go into a team from the management. They take great credit for.
First long throw of the second half. Okay, here will be another throw. This all taking place at the Stoke City end. They're enjoying themselves, the fans. Plenty of them still taking their seats for the second half. I say a few more empty seats at the Bolton end. But that goes again, right under the bar. Shawcross was in there. And John Walters got his head to the ball, couldn't direct it. Tackle by Whelan. And Taylor, who's just come on.
An uncomfortable moment for Jääskeläinen again. He's moaning at the referee, bodies around him. Nothing wrong with that at all. Just got himself tangled up with Shawcross. Okay, he's just feeling him a little bit, but it's got to be stronger. Doesn't get off the ground. They just make it so uncomfortable for you, Stoke. No let-up whatsoever.
Tennant. That was a loose one. Straight to Fabrice Muamba, who's played at Wembley for the England under-21s a couple of times. Etherington. What a great burst of pace, and he was stopped eventually by Cahill. And he leads the charge from the back. Away by Robert Hoot. They need some inspiration. They need their big players to make the difference here, Bolton. Steinson with the throw. Lee. Steinson got the cross in here. It was towards Mark Davis, never reached him. And ball there. Free kick to Stoke.
They do defend the box ever so well. Big responsibility on those two centre-halves. Very, very honest. Clear handball. Really get a good view of it. And it's the wrong side for Howard Webb as well, but the arm was up and out. And just those breaks in play really do suit Stoke.
Well, sometimes you just can't bear to look.
No, was it worth it? The game I meant, not the marriage.
Yeah, empty seats and more than at the start of the game. And I think some Bolton fans have decided to beat the rush away from Wembley and head home early. Enormous throw from Delap to Walters. Oh, the way off disappointing. Mark Davis. Kevin Davis. Forward by Steinson. Too much on that. Wilson. Safety first.
Well, they can afford it. Tony Pulis will be a bit frustrated because the side have been slightly sloppy. He wouldn't have wanted that half-time interval. He would have been stressed to his side. You go out, you start well for 15 minutes and this game is over. You've got to do it. Don't be sloppy. Don't let them back in early.
That's wasteful.
They've been so poor in the attacking third. I think that's where Owen Coyle, a fantastic centre forward in his own time, in his own right, with his pace and his movement, played in a lot of big games for Bolton, but the side just haven't performed for him at all. They'll have done pattern of play all week. They'll have worked on how to beat this Stoke side. They'll have worked about the movement that's needed to get through this back four. Just have not done it at all.
Owen Coyle scored a very important header for Bolton at the old Wembley in the playoff final against Reading. 2-0 down that day, eventually won 4-3. He knows it can be done. But if they come up from this, they've got to keep seeing that achievement. Away by Robert Hoot. Mark Davis. Caught by Lee. Just 3 or 4 yards away from Howard Webb. It was Lee who scored the 90th minute header in the quarter-final to get Stoke to Wembley. Terrific last 8 clash it was against Birmingham. Walters thought he'd won a corner there. It's just a goal kick.
And unfortunately for us, from an entertainment point of view, Stoke want this to be as ugly and as broken as possible this second half. They just want it to pass by with hardly an incident of note. Take as long as they can over each set piece, push the boundaries.
Oh, that's a foul by Armando on Shawcross. Disbelief on the face of both Davis and Elmander.
Very hard to tell the referee he's having a shocker when you're 3-0 down, unfortunately, after half an hour. He's got plenty of comebacks at that point.
Good leap by Walters. Jones maybe just caught a bit flat-footed there. He might not have expected John Walters to win that header. Cahill. On by Davis. Elmander to chase this one down. There's the reverse ball to Lee. Just couldn't get the cross in. He was so quickly closed down. Here's John Walters. Jones has made a great run far side. One-on-one with Cahill here. And he waited, and the chance was gone.
Good defending from Cahill. Not a great situation for a centre-half when you get the forward facing you up. He does well, holds his pace, allows his teammates to get back and around him. I think he'll get some opportunities, Cahill, to play in these occasions. I think he's destined for bigger things. Shawcross, the same at the other end. But he'll be desperately disappointed, Cahill. Wouldn't have thought he'd be conceding 3 goals today here. He's been in fine form all season. Big player for Bolton.
Mark Davis. There's a real live wire in midfield. It's a lovely run. But the finish rather sums up Bolton's attempts in front of goal. Wayward.
Yeah, but at least there's some intention. Picks up the ball. There's some pace about the attack at least. Commits some defenders. I talked about them not liking movement. Maybe a bit unfortunate not to pick up a free kick there on the edge of the box. Just getting tugged slightly off balance when he came to strike the shot, but at least he's trying to commit people.
Oh, Martin Petrov already got his suit on. How he would have loved to have been taking on his old club Manchester City in the final. Not to be, it would seem.
No, and I know you make your own luck, but it's desperately disappointing for these players. Just nagging away at the back of their mind. As much as you want to win, as much as you have these great dreams and hopes for the games, you always have that little bit of doubt. Don't want it to be a nightmare whatsoever. And it's unfortunately turned out that way for them. One big chance you might get, it's just been horrible for them.
Well, they need a little bit of luck. They need something to go their way. And try and haul themselves back into this one-sided semi-final. So the former Germany captain Martin Matthäus there, getting his fair share of big games. I wonder what he'll be thinking watching Bolton toil. He may think about leaving soon now that Martin Petrov has gone off. Coaching Bulgaria these days. Whelan. Tennant. Walters with the dummy. Jones. Nicely done. Walters. Tennant again. Robinson. The Taylor slid in. And the cross was towards Jones. He thinks he was fouled. Etherington. Well, that is a free kick. The fans felt that was a 50-50.
Good commitment though, the width again. Bolton just haven't had that at all. Tees the ball up. Nothing in it for Jones. Okay, he's frustrated. Decent again from Cahill. Easy to make these challenges. Easy to run the extra yard when you have a 3-goal advantage.
Well, Jones this time does get the decision from Cahill. That was a foul, says Howard Webb.
He's just too tight to him. Got turned round. He would argue that was no different to the previous challenge in the box. It's an awful lot easier for a referee to give it 10 yards from the halfway line.
Stoke do rather enjoy this type of situation. Taken short by Mark Wilson. Etherington. Walters. Now Rory Delap. Walters looking for Etherington, straight race with Lee. And corner, well played again, Stoke City.
It's been fantastic for them since his arrival. gave him a new dimension. A bit surprised he didn't put that ball in, just feel it across the 6-yard box. You know the forwards are going to be making the effort to get in there. Had success in it so far. But again, they're just happy to be camped down there, happy for that clock to be ticking.
So Stoke's second corner, Etherington takes. Kevin Davis heads away, despite the attentions of Robert Hoot. There's no flag here against Walters. Jones! Vital save from Jääskeläinen.
Yeah, but shouldn't be heading it. Shouldn't be the only man in the box with no one around him. Look there, 6 bodies around him. Just had to go back on it, couldn't get the power. Can't allow that sort of situation, Bolton. Got to be closer to him.
Lee. Well read by Robert Hoot. Hasn't had a look in the Germany squad now for 2 years, Robert Hoot. And his form has been so good this year, you feel. It's only a matter of time before he's recalled. It's header, and it didn't go out of play. You get the feeling it's not your day. But one decision has gone Bolton's way in this 60 minutes of football. They don't care. They're already dreaming about their first FA Cup final.
Now they'll be reflecting on yesterday's result as well. I'm sure they'll be happy to be up against the blue half of Manchester rather than the red half. They certainly see themselves as being equal to that task. And go and try and bully them as well. They're more illustrious, fairly near neighbours. They won't make it pretty, but they'll hopefully make it as effective as they've been today.
If I remember correctly, Stoke City were Roberto Mancini's first opponents as Manchester City manager a couple of years ago. Routine 2-0 win it was that day, but rather different in a cup final. But Bolton aren't out of this just yet. They haven't shown too many signs of getting back into it, that's for sure. Jones chasing down that back pass. That was risky from Paul Robinson, and that's given away wretchedly to Etherington. Etherington bearing down on goal again, looking for Walters, spilled. Walters teeing up Jones. Excellent block by Robinson, who gave it away in the first place. But they are all over the place, Bolton. You can hardly believe what you're seeing from Owen Coyle's side here.
No, you're right. Contributed to the first goal. Contributed to the third goal as well when they're in good possession. Cannot make basic errors. Looks comfortable enough. Bounces a little bit in front of Jääskeläinen, and this is good defending. He's got a big heart, Robinson. He will never give up for you. Throws himself. That certainly would have been all over. You cannot see it being any way back into it for Bolton.
Amanda. Oh, here's Kevin Davis. Great tackle by Shawcross. Probably a goal-saving challenge.
Yeah, they get around each other brilliantly well. Good touch from Davis. Just nutmegs the lap. You talk about big heart. None bigger than Shawcross. Recovered from the controversy surrounding his tackle in the Arsenal game. Come back a much better player.
Well, Taylor's corner, goal kick. The verdict, it was Steinson who leapt near post. Scored in the 4th round last season against Sheffield United.
Look at the bodies around him though. Physical presence, what he's up against there. No clear header. And that ball gets an ooh from the crowd, but it ends up being 10 yards wide. There's no pressure on Sorensen's goal whatsoever.
Mark Davis, seized upon by Whelan. Bolton throw. Well, when you put a silly wig on, feels great before the game. You feel a bit daft at 3-0 down.
Well, they can't criticise their team because they've been great this season, but they'll be so disappointed with the way they haven't performed. I want to say the way they performed, they just haven't today. Been poor in so many basic areas. I think that's been the major source of frustration for Owen Coyle. He would have taken the fact that his team would do the basics well, and they just haven't.
Etherington by Lee. Well, it was actually Taylor, wasn't it? Who got the first tackle in.
And he's just got a little bit the wrong side. Just trails his leg, just in the fleshy part of the calf. Maybe a little touch of cramp. He's certainly done his fair share of running.
Quality strike, wasn't it? In just the 12th minute of the game. That was the second one from Robert Hooch. And the third one was just beautifully taken by Jones. One-sided a semi-final, really, as you could wish to see. He won't shy away from that.
No, he's honest, isn't he? He'll come out and face the cameras, he'll give his verdict on it. He knows that the game's over, knows that it takes a miracle for his side. It'll be really interesting to know what he said to them at half-time. He'll be disappointed for his own players. We saw this little challenge again, just a kick on the Achilles. Can't see there being too much in that. Might be a little bit tender. Very surprised if there's too much in that. But Owen Coyle, he'll be disappointed, and he'll have to try and lift his side now. A few games left in the league for the end of the season. Will want to finish with a flourish, won't want to feel like it's been a damp squib of a season. It's funny how these sorts of results can affect the equilibrium in a club, can affect the confidence of your players.
Well, they were just fiddling with Etherington's knee there. There was a moment of concern. It looks like he's going to be okay. Missed a penalty, didn't he, in the quarter-final against West Ham, another of his old clubs, but since then, opponent's delivery. Since then, he's been in blinding form. Oh, it falls kindly here to Walters! Cracking save by Jääskeläinen. Jones missed it completely. Well, it should be 4-0.
It's take too long, Walters. Surprised at him, he's been in great form. Look at the marking again, though. They don't come out, he gets himself out. It's got to be picked up. You know there's going to be a challenge coming in. Got to get around him. Just takes too long. Touching Jones as well. He'll be disappointed. Can't make any sort of contact. Maybe they're feeling sorry for the Northwest neighbours.
Walters would have enjoyed that, wouldn't he? Against his old side. His last appearance for Bolton came in the FA Cup before he went out to the lower leagues. That was a poor challenge by Mark Davis on penalty. Howard Webb has resisted the temptation to get the yellow card out so far. Well, these are the great days to be a supporter. Particularly when you can relax midway through the second half with a 3-goal cushion.
Yeah, the trouble they have now is they have to recreate it when they come back for the final. It is a benefit to the players. I think they've now had a little taste of the experience. They know what it's all about. That won't take them by surprise on the day. But I'll be surprised if they have it this easy again.
Elmander. Brilliantly away by Hooch. This is Walters. Davis trying to stay with him. Walters goes for it! What a magnificent goal! John Walters, against his former club, has fired Stoke City into their first ever FA Cup final. A quite extraordinary afternoon at Wembley. 4-0.
Well, I take it they practice shooting from outside the box this week, because they have produced 3 great strikes. Once again, Elmander caught in control of the ball. He does well, Walters. Sets off, wants to kill a bit of time for his club, wants to make his teammates get up the pitch. Only got one thing on his mind, and another shot buries itself in the side netting. Jääskeläinen, no chance again. Good strength, good power, never even looks up. And that is how you finish.
Glorious goal from John Walters, his 4th in 6 FA Cup appearances this season. And Tony Pulis punches the air with joy. Game over, surely. Just past the midway point of the second half. And the Bolton fans are starting to pour away from Wembley in disbelief. I saw Stoke City play at the Britannia Stadium against Chelsea a couple of weeks ago. John Walters ran from the halfway line in a similar fashion. Finished near post on that occasion, went far this time. I think that finish was even better today. Jaskalainen no chance. Bolton have a corner as they try and salvage some pride from a dismal display.
Yes, that is exactly it. Nothing left to offer at all. Work rate, you just want the day to end now. Horrible situation.
Taylor. Easy for Thomas Sorensen. Well, they beat Newcastle 4-0 in the Premier League last month. It was their biggest win in any competition for 3.5 years, and they've matched it today. They've now scored 13 goals in their last 5 games, Stoke. Quite incredible.
Can't be too many sides that have scored 4 in a cup semi-final. Be interesting to know the goal scorers of any of the sides that have.
A deafening racket from these Stoke City supporters. They can't believe what they're seeing. Bolton have a free kick. And Thomas Sorensen now will be keen to keep a clean sheet. Matt Taylor, who scored twice at Stoke in the league last season. He's over the ball. Taylor straight into the midriff of Kenwyne Jones in the wall, who barely flinched. Taylor again. Oh, good save. Good save by Thomas Sorensen.
Yeah, really sharp reflexes. First time Stoke haven't got decent aerial ability on a clearance. Good little half shot. Does well going to his left-hand side.
Lee goes in near post from the corner. It'll be another one. And he's certainly produced some better set pieces since coming on, Matty Taylor, with a great left foot. There he goes again. Zach Knight trying to get on the end of it. But they don't concede many from corners, Stoke. Shaw cross downfield. John Walters' goal, really the icing on the cake for Stoke City. That's his 10th of the season. Goal kick to Stoke here. Again, Shawcross, the man fouled. And change for Bolton, their last one. Rodrigo coming on. Spanish winger, he was on loan from Benfica. He'll be replacing Mwamba.
Well, his instructions were pretty clear. Get us 5, son. Change this game. Disappointed from Ryan, but had the experience of playing here. Would never have dreamt his experience was going to end like this today at all.
Well, they're going for a record, Stoke. Nottingham Forest beat 10-man West Ham in 1991, didn't they, when Tony Gale was sent off in controversial circumstances. 4-0 that day, 4-0 today with 17 minutes to go. The lapse long throw, low one to Walters.
Must be able to lever Everton's 4-1 win against Tottenham Hotspur in '95 in some capacity. We've been desperate for you to bring it up.
Great goal this, Matt, isn't it? This is sheer quality with a capital Q.
Yes, he's done really well, and he wasn't lingering on the chance that he had just previously. He'd have been disappointed there, took too long, but his intent was clear there. Good pace, good power, never looked up, just bent it outside the post and back in again. Great finish, great personal moment for him. That's a Robinson challenge through and through. That's a frustration one. Knows he's probably in trouble with the referee here, so he goes to pick him up. It's a bit cheap, that one. Hopefully this isn't too massive a pennant. That's a poor challenge. That's a petulant one.
Well, he's just totally cleaned out his left ankle here. Nowhere near the ball. A yard and a half away from the ball.
The one thing that's positive out of it is that the foot's off the floor. Had he caught the standing leg, that can often be more serious. He is hurt there. Not great when he's shaking the hand. I don't think it will be too serious. Might not be enough. Certainly won't risk him for the rest of this game if there's any doubts at all. He can't argue with it. That's a poor challenge. He's made possibly too many of them. Talked about his heart earlier, the way that he tries in the game, but that was a poor challenge.
Well, he's a player who's had 9 red cards in his career. This time it's a yellow. And another apology to Tennant. Doesn't seem terribly interested in hearing it.
I don't think you mind when it's a decent challenge. Just look at the power and the strength. Great when you're in confident form. How much it means. Absolute delight for his team. Great personal moment.
Well, he had to drop down the leagues, didn't he, after leaving Bolton. He only made 4 Premier League appearances at the Reebok. But he was top scorer at Ipswich in the Championship last season with 8. He's now got 10 in his first season at Stoke City, back in the top flight. And I tell you what, one of the bargains of the season. 3 million quid. Gives you absolutely everything in every game.
Doesn't waste much. Tony Pulis spends the club's money very wisely. He's made them an awful lot. But he certainly puts his new signings into the side. Generally, they have an impact for him.
Well, they're not giving an inch, are they, Stoke? Glenn Whelan with a couple of terrific challenges in the last 5 minutes. The Bolton players not allowed a split second on the ball. Robinson. Well, there have been an awful lot of long punts forward like that from the back to Bolton, and not one has come off.
They've just had no pattern of play at all. No one has taken responsibility to get on the ball. No one's taken responsibility to pass it. Every little decision's gone against them. Unfortunately, they just do not get the chance again quickly. And it might come round, but we're next going to see Bolton in a FA Cup semi-final. You'd have to argue statistically, it might be an awful long time.
When I came up from central London, there was a lot of Bolton and Stoke fans who've obviously had a weekend in London because they were travelling up on the tube from central London, and it's proved to be a miserable weekend for the Bolton supporters who've made that trip from Lancashire. Dean Whitehead coming on here for Stoke City. Tony Pulis did ponder starting with him in central midfield as a bit of a terrier. Jermaine Pennant having to go off after that challenge from Robinson. It's not going to have any impact on the result. He's had a terrific game.
Yeah, he's been great. Tony Pulis can take great credit. Just having a chat with him, making sure he's fine. So it was a poor challenge on him, but the fact that his leg was in the air, not going to be any lasting damage there. He can take great pride in his personal performance today and for the season.
Taylor through to Cahill. Trying to steamroller his way through. And it's falling kindly for Kenwyne Jones. Trying to outmuscle Zat Knight. Great tackle. Really good challenge. Corner.
He did do well because he was never favourite at all. Looked to be floundering. What an outlet this man is as well, though, when he's firing on all cylinders. Just gets a little toe in, strength and power. He's shown his finishing ability as well. That's why they paid a lot of money for him. Once again, you talk about Tony Pulis. Sunderland were happy to let him go. Okay, he might not be the most consistent, but when he plays, boy, does he give you a return.
Third corner for Stoke. Etherington takes. And somehow manages to miss everyone. And it's all academic now, surely. Stoke's first FA Cup semi-final for 39 years. And they're determined to make the most of the occasion. It's a nice pack on the left leg of Jermaine Pennant as a precaution. Amanda. First touch for Dean Whitehead. Whelan. Wilkinson. Well, even when a sloppy pass comes in, Whelan wins it back. He's had a great game as well. Etherington. Great ball in for Jones. Well, you can't ask for better service than that as an on-rushing striker. But it's all too easy, isn't it, for Stoke City? They're getting in time and again. Wilkinson, Jones onside, Walters far side. Can he pick him out? Here is Walters. It's 5. The former Bolton man has got 2 of them. It's a rout, an absolute rout.
Maybe a little hint of offside. They certainly weren't planning this one. It's a great chance on the edge of the 6-yard box before it falls from again. I mean, it's horrible. You don't want it to be a rout. It's a horrible word. It's an embarrassment for Bolton and all connected with them. Jones does brilliantly well again. He's offside. Well, maybe no. Just that night, it's probably just gone back in. Just the ball gets skewed across. Gets his head up, pulls it back to a dangerous area. Good composure again. Digs it out of his feet. Just a little dink. Again, doesn't look up. Knows where the target is. Backs himself to get it in there. 5-0. Would you ever believe it? Do not use all your luck up today, Tony, because you're going to need it again in a few weeks' time.
My word, Bolton fans pouring away from Wembley. The record FA Cup semi-final victory, 1908. Newcastle scored 6. Stoke have just equalled the second best semi-final score from 1882. The records are tumbling, and you wouldn't put it past Stoke getting another one against this horribly demoralised Bolton side. John Walters, of course, now on a hat-trick. 7.5 minutes plus stoppage time still to play. It's undiluted agony for Bolton. Shawcross. Whelan. Well, Stoke, Matt, have really got their critics, but they have answered them emphatically today. They've played some really good football. They haven't given an inch to their opponents.
No, but I don't know how you can criticise a side that have big hearts, try really hard for each other, show great spirit, good tactical awareness. What is there to criticise? The game is about winning the game. Sometimes it's about league points, sometimes it's about cup triumphs. No disgrace in this whatsoever.
Ricardo Fuller coming on. That's not a sight that Owen Coyle would want to see. He is your archetypal impact player. Came on recently against Newcastle and scored the 4th goal. Looks like Kenwyne Jones just feeling the back of his left hamstring. And it'll be a straight swap up top. Kenwyne Jones, scorer of the 3rd goal. He is right back in top form now after that dodgy 2-month spell. And this was his goal on half an hour. Top draw.
He just turned his bit up. Actually not great as the first touches. Still a bit under his feet. Opened his body up, angled it into the corner. And they'll just be hoping it's cramp rather than a little pull on that left hamstring.
Ricardo Fuller has 7 FA Cup goals, although none this season. Scored in the round 3, 4 and 5 last season for Stoke. Corner here. Kevin Davis is up, but he's been penalised.
Quite happy to have a physical battle, Stoke. How'd you pick the bones out of a foul in there? Really tough. Not even worth arguing now for Kevin Davis. Gave the referee a quizzical look. And he's done well, Howard Webb. Not that difficult to officiate when it's 5-0. Just we see the goal again, everything going right. Ricochets, falling to men, standing at the far post.
Fuller doing brilliantly against Cahill. Cahill coming back with a challenge. Referee giving the free kick. Cahill saying he got the ball. He's going to get booked.
Has to be booked. Has to be booked for that. Do not waste your breath. Be very surprised if he got anything on this. Maybe just a toe as the ball's away. Certainly catches the man. It's the slightest touch.
He just brushed the end of the stud, maybe. Matty Etherington is going to be withdrawn in just a moment. Will he be allowed to take this free kick first? Danny Pugh is waiting to come on. Surely Tony Pulis will wait for Etherington to take the free kick first. Short cross far side and out by Knight at the expense of a Stoke City corner. Etherington's come across to take the corner. He's going to have to cross the pitch again because he's coming off. The man who began the goal avalanche in the 12th minute can enjoy this standing ovation. Thoroughly merited.
Yes, he set them on their way with a fabulous strike. Been a threat all afternoon. Deserves that appreciation. What a way to start the afternoon this was. Great strike. 25 yards, no chance at all for Jääskeläinen. Been fantastic for Stoke all season. Quite rightly gets congratulations from his manager.
And a taste of Wembley for Danny Pugh. Mark Wilson to take the corner. Hoots went for it. Bolton throw. So much talk this week that Bolton were destined to get through because of the sad death of Matt Lofthouse in January captained Bolton to their last FA Cup against Manchester United. Owen Coyle was desperate to get away from that sort of talk. And right, really, from the first whistle, there's only one winner here. Desperate afternoon for those supporters.
They haven't done one thing well. They haven't competed. They've been outfought physically. They haven't shown any sort of composure at all. Hardly fashioned a chance on that Thomas Sorensen goal. And that's what will really disappoint Owen Coyle.
Last minute of normal time. Bolton. Cheeky back goal that was. And Danny Pugh. I thought he won a corner, but the offside flag was up. And Tony Pulis this moment, can't he? He had Wembley heartache with Gillingham, who were beaten on penalties by Manchester City in the Division 2 playoff final back in 1999. Totally contrasting emotions for him today.
His next conundrum is in his preparations for the final. Does he do exactly what he's done today? We saw them turn up in tracksuits. I'm sure he did that for the reason that he wants it just to be another game. Or does he go down the route of the cup final suit, the palaver that goes around it? Does that take away from his team's performance? He knows it's not going to be 5-0 in the final. Surely can't be. He's going to have to do something different. He's going to have to get his troops ready for a different type of battle, surely.
Taylor with a shot that rather sums up their attacking threat today. And there is the picture of Nat Lofthouse on the FA Cup. This was goal number 5. Little nick off Gary Cahill, which took it over Jääskeläinen. John Walters won't care about that. And this is Tony Pulis' 19th season as a manager. He's never once suffered relegation. Here is Fuller. Fuller to make it 6. He got it back on his right. And you expected the net to ripple. It's a corner.
Well, one word describes this: greedy, I think. You look at the Stoke players that are queuing up for a tap and look at them stood there. How frustrating. I mean, he wants to get his name on the score sheet, and I'm sure at 5-0, you can't blame him. But Walters, I'm sure, would have liked a hat-trick as well for a tap-in from 5 yards.
Boots. There is a Stoke legend in Dennis Smith. They won the League Cup in 1972 when they beat Chelsea unexpectedly in the final. They'll be enjoying this moment. It's their only silverware in their history, Stoke City. Could they add the 2011 FA Cup to that shortlist? Banks, of course, has a road named after him outside the Britannia Stadium, such as his legendary status. Whelan's corner. Great setup. What an absolutely outstanding team performance this has been from Stoke City. Whatever you say about how poorly Bolton have played, the credit has to go to Stoke. That wasn't the full-time whistle. But don't worry, Stoke fans, it's not too far away. Robinson. Nothing has got past Shawcross and Hoot at the back. Stoke City are through to their first ever FA Cup final. A 5-0 thrashing of Bolton Wanderers. So unexpected. Man of the match, Matthew Etherington, getting Stoke on their way after 12 minutes. 2 goals in the second half from John Walters against his former club. Total despair for the Trotters. who have an awfully long journey home up the motorway after this performance. What will this do for Stoke City's season? They still need a few more points to ensure Premier League survival. And this has been as good a team performance as you could wish from such a showpiece occasion, Matt Jackson.
Well, they gave a performance that encapsulates everything associated with this club. Spirit, closeness, horrible for the opposing manager, horrible for Owen Coyle. Tony Pulis will be bond with the opposition manager. It will be horrible that he's humiliated his team here today, but how proud he'll be of his players. They've picked up their fair share of knocks, not going to hurt for too long tonight. Some great individual performances, some fantastic goals. Now they have to do it all again in a few weeks' time. Manchester City become the opponents. What a chance they have to lift that trophy, that famous old trophy.
They're known for being gritty. Today they were also Stoke 5.